Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel for another early access French alternate destroyer line ship. We're in the Tier 6 Le Hardi and we are on Loop. This must be a new map, it looks really dumb. Anyway, we are top tier. I guess I should go look up information about this ship since we're about to do a video on it. All right, Le Hardi class destroyer consisted of 12 destroyers built for the French Navy during the late 1930s. Only 7 of the destroyers were completed. They sailed for French North Africa and later French West Africa. Le Hardi played a minor role in the Battle of Dakar. The Germans attempted to capture two ships that were under construction and attempted to finish them. Maybe that's how ZF6 allegedly came into the game. Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't really say what happened here to Le Hardi, except that it was broken up for scrap. It talks about the history of the design and all that stuff, and then a revision of the design. Le Hardi was scuttled in November of 42, salvaged by the Regia Marina, and then captured by the Germans, and then scuttled by them, and then later scrapped. So a rather embarrassing end, I guess. Designed to escort the fast battleships of the Dunkirk class and to counter the large destroyers of the Italian Navy and the specifically Japanese Fubuki class. They had a late modification in 1941 where the AA changed, and that is not going to be reflected in the game. All right, so at least not that I can tell, because the AA on this thing is really terrible. All right, hey, speaking of the Dunkirk class, there's the Dunkirk destroyer. In my opinion, this is just another torpedo boat. I saw some woofing on Reddit that claimed that Robin LaFierce was the best commander for the Tier 6 and Tier 7, and I could see that maybe if you really love balanced destroyers and you wanted to play them that way because you just can't stand using torpedoes unless absolutely necessary, but I would rather build into the strengths. And I think the strengths of the ship line the torpedo plays. So I did not play any matches with Robin LaFierce as the commander. That being said, pardon me, I'm going to have to grind the Tier 7 for several games this week. So who knows? I may experiment with him. We'll see. Don't hold your breath. It'll probably still be Filippo Boy now. All right, we did get a torp strike on the Dunkirk, but it is going too fast. I think I actually call that one Dunkirky. This is actually going too fast for me to get the torps off before the islands, so we're going to kind of loiter around. And that, I think, is a really effective play style for these ships. I haven't had a really amazing game in terms of damage, but by loitering just out of the battleship's detection range, I think you're going to put yourself in the best position to do damage. All right, here the Benson, who's the alpha gunboat at the tier, came up on me. He's got a slight edge in damage, but I don't think I evened the score there. But I think he's going to run into a torpedo as we take more shots from the Bayern. There is a torpedo strike. And I don't think he's long for this world. All right, so we're not going to full retreat. We're not going to hide behind the island. We're just going to let our Concealment, kick back in, back down to 4.9 cam, and we're just going to continue to loiter in the area. Again, I say that with the benefit of not being targeted by the carrier commander. And obviously, since the Benson has no health left, he can't really come out here and do what he should be doing, which is forcing the issue as the Alpha gunboat. He can't do that, doesn't have the health to do that. So it's always funny to me when I'm in a destroyer and I find the enemy destroyer. The enemy destroyer's teammates are always willing to help shoot me. But when it's the other way around, it's like none of my teammates are ever willing to put a lot of fire into the enemy ship. I know that everybody probably says that. And I'm certain if we went back through my archive, there are plenty of matches where they chipped in to help out. All right, here's the Benson. He's coming at us. We get him again with another shell. We've got torps moving in on the Bayern, and we're going to torp the Bayern to death. Right there, devastating strike, kill number 1 to go with our solo base cap. And now we're going to hit our speed boost. And we are going to come out of this, and we are going to easily avoid the torpedoes of the Benson. And we're going to light him up here. And he is dead. Kill number 2. Immediately turning to give my broadside to Miyoko. And he does a little bit of damage, but we get off our 3-tube rack and our 2-tube rack. Just keep this in mind. You have one triple tube rack that shoots to either side and a twin tube to either side in this ship. That battleship has almost no health, but I'm really trying not to be shot at. The Miyoko slows up just in time. The second battleship that was on no health did get taken out. So I'm going to encourage my teammates to attack Miyoko. I don't have a lot of health left. And at this point, with this ship, you should be purely in stealth destroyer mode with this kind of points. Or hit points left, pardon me, as I hump the corpse of one of the ships that I killed. All right, looking around, there is the Poltava. We're going to get one rack out on the Poltava or other double rack and continue to encourage people to kill the Miyoko. We have a commanding lead. The blue team has lost 2 ships. The red team has lost 5 ships. And we have about a 340 point lead in the points. So we are dominating right now. And I'm going to do my part here by flipping Bravo and trying to get my second solo base cap. And not content to hide behind the island, I am going to come out here and try to spot Miyoko for my teammates. Just to remind them, hey, kill that guy. Hey, by the way, can you kill this guy? And it looks like he's going to back up a little bit. So I am going to send some torpedoes eventually if I remember to put on the brakes and not run out of cap. So we send the torps, and then I'm going to throw up my smoke screen. And I was hoping to get a kill pinch, but he backed into the island. And so now he's going the other way. And still hoping to kill pinch. And we did not get a kill pinch. But we did get a solo base cap and a cap defended flag. All right. Off like a dirty shirt. We're going to head back to the other side of the map. Got the Poltava out there. Got a cruiser who I don't know what it is. And we've got the carrier. So if you do not select any speed characteristics for your commander, The speed of this alternate class destroyer line is not fast. So I encourage you to add a little bit of speed in. All right, there was the other cruiser. He's almost dead. So we got the Poltava and we've got the aircraft carrier to deal with. So I do recommend using a speed boost flag, and I do recommend not nerfing your speed, but enhancing it if you can in your commander build. We'll talk about that afterwards in the port. I want to say, I think when I hit my speed boost here, I can get up to 40 knots. Or, oh, pardon me, way above 40 knots. All right, so yeah, I think my base speed might be 40.7 knots or something like that. But if you don't put anything into it, it'll drop back down to like 36. So keep that in mind. All right, there is Poltava. By the way, 48 and a half knots, I want to say. 49, 50 knots. 51 knots. 51.6, I think, was the highest I got. All right, I'm going to put on the brakes and engage another smoke screen because we are spotted. Am I going to engage a smoke screen? Maybe not. I'm going to go behind the island over here. We are going to get a torp strike on Poltava. And we are going to finish off Poltava for our third kill. No hat trick, unfortunately for me. We didn't have a need to flip the other cap before the match ended. All right, here we are on the victory screen. Devastating strike, 72,224 total damage. 23 main battery hits, 7 torpedo strikes, 1 hand job, 3 kills, 7 fires, 4 floods, 1 cap defended flag, 2 solo base caps. We ended up with 346,155 silver, 10,200 ship XP, 10,700 commander XP in Le Hardi in early access. Here we are at the top of the board, 1 medal, 3 kills, 2702 base XP. Officially a good game for ourselves in this match. All right, look at all that. Look at all those achievements. I'm going to get another cruiser I have no interest in playing. Oh, boy. All right, let's go back to the port and take a look at the ship after a brief message from Wargaming. The Le Hardi is in early access. We went with main battery mod 2. Propulsion mod 2. Concealment system mod 1. And Le Hardi is fully upgraded. Taking a look at the loadout, you got HE, AP, and incendiary torpedoes. Unlimited charges of the damage control party, 4 charges of the smoke generator, and 4 charges of the engine boost with our build. We were running the Epic Ship XP booster and the common battle booster for speed. We've got the standard permanent camouflage and the early adopter flag. 15,600 hit points with our build and a 30% fire resistance. The base value 14,400 and I think 27%. So a little more hit points than normal. Totally okay. 3 twin 130 millimeter turrets, 10 kilometer firing range up from 9.8, 7-second reload, 15-second turn time down from 18 seconds. The shell grouping value is 1.8 with our build. Dispersion all slightly worse. The HE shells 2018 max damage up from 1950. The fire setting chance is 9%, and they pen 22 millimeters of armor. AP shells do 2,400 max damage. They pen 207 millimeters at point blank range, 57 millimeters at max range, down 1 millimeter. And the fuse arming threshold is 22 millimeters. Got 1 triple and those 2 twin torpedo launchers. They should all have the same characteristics. 11.6 kilometers with our build, up from 9 kilometers. This is because I had Torpedo Safari on. I don't actually recommend having it on the ship. The boost distance, 7.5 kilometers with these torpedoes, rather long. The speed at launch is 65 knots with our build. The max speed is 100 knots at the end of the boost distance, so that is very fast. Reloads every 75 seconds. The fire starting chance at launch 100%. The maximum chance 400%. The turn time is 6 seconds. The max simulated damage 13,272, up from 11,696. The detectability range at launch 1.2 kilometers. The detectability range at max range 2.1 kilometers. The arming distance 205 meters. And all these stats are the same for the twin launchers. There's one on each side of the ship. So that's what I'm just going up and down looking at. Yeah, all the stats are the same. You would expect that. All right. AA defense, it's pretty terrible. It also does not represent the upgrades I talked about in late 1941. Max speed 40.7 knots with our build, 610 meter turning circle, 3.6 second rudder shift time, down from 5.1 seconds. And you can see the mod slot there gives a large boost to the multiplier speed threshold. Concealment 5.4 on the surface, 2.8 from the air, 2.5 when firing from smoke. We played 2 matches in the Hardi, and the last match you saw was our best match. We're averaging 2 kills, 54,500 damage per match. And we kill equally between guns and torpedoes. All right, whether you believe this stuff or not is totally up to you. Anyway, here's the commander, Filippo Bueno. We were using preset 1, which was a slight mistake. Bei and Deng Shichang is our inspirations. Row number 1, contact is imminent. Row number 2, go all out. Row number 3, Torpedo Safari. Again, I should have chosen Perceptive. So maybe I should have used preset 2. Because you don't really need the torpedo range in this one. Destroy or be destroyed. I think mod slot, or my preset number 2, is the Trident Gambit. It's really up to you, but that lengthens the reload of the main battery and give me speed. So that is Le Hardi. I would definitely run Perceptive in that 3rd skill row. Anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. Thanks for watching.